Hi everyone, this is Dr. Huan. I would like to talk about anatomy of a human hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a very complicated structure. It has many regions, many nuclei, and contains a lot of neurotransmitters. Let's go through them step by step. Now here I'm going to show you a sagittal view of the brain. This is a human brain. Basically, this is a look at the side view. Here is your cortex, and this is your occipital lobe. This is your cerebellum brainstem. Right in the middle here, this is your thalamus. Underneath the thalamus, you have your third ventricle, and around the third ventricle here is your hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is located under the thalamus. That's why I give the name. It's called hypothalamus. The anterior border, you can see here, you have anterior commissure, and you have your optic nerve. Right in the middle, you have optic chiasma. And underneath, you have your pituitary gland. Posteriorly, you have your mammillary body. And the third ventricle is right in the middle. The structure of hypothalamus lies on both sides of the third ventricle. The hypothalamus has a size of 1.5 to 2 centimeters cube, so therefore is a three-dimensional structure. Now here we have enlarged drawing of the hypothalamus. This is in the same direction as previous picture. This is anterior, this is posterior, this is your third ventricle. From the rostral, or from anterior to posterior, in the rodents, it's called from rostral to caudal. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 regions. The most anterior region, this is called a preoptic area because it's anterior to your optic nerve. Here is your anterior region, which is just above your optic nerve, optic chiasma. The third region is called the tubular region, and posteriorly you have your posterior region. For tubular region, underneath here is your pituitary gland, or you can call it neural hypophysis. This is 4 regions. Now here is the picture you have seen before. This is the middle-sided section, 4 regions. This is the fiber staining human brain section. Then here you will have your 4 regions. This is your thalamus. Hypothalamus is here. In the hypothalamus, you have a preoptic, anterior, tubular, and the posterior hypothalamic regions. Now this is from the side view or middle-sided section. Now if you turn to 90 degree, then this is called a coronal section. It's cut from the front. This is a coronal section. If we cut through this preoptic region, then here you will see this is your hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus always, from this dimension, will divide into two regions, medial region and the lateral region. In the lateral region here, this is called the lateral preoptic area. And medially, this is called a medial preoptic area, two different areas. The reason to call them two different areas because they have different functions. And in the medial preoptic area, you will have the nuclei, which is different between male and females, that control the different behavior, sexual behavior. Therefore, the nuclei in this region is called sexual dimorphism. In the lateral region here, you have lateral preoptic region. Here is for the osmotic, it's for osmotic receptor. They are located here, and to sense the water for the thirst. Now here's a real tissue section of the humans. Here is your preoptic region. Medially, you can see those cells, and here's the lateral region. In the medial region, in the male subject, you can see those large cells, very densely packed, which does not exist in the female. This is in the female hypothalamus. In addition, in the other areas, you also see those patches, large cells. You see very few in females. This is called the interstitial nucleus of anterior hypothalamus. And here labeled as SDN, they are sexual dimorphic because only in the males does not exist in the female. This is your preoptic region. Now here you have your supraoptic group, or the anterior region, as we have seen these two slides before. Now we move a level more posteriorly to the previous section. We cut through this region. Now we see the structures here through the anterior region. Because it's right above your optic chiasma, it's also called a supraoptic group here. We introduce 4 nuclei, suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is for the circadian rhythm control. The second nucleus, this is called a paraventricular nucleus. This produces hormones and also produce neuromodulators. For example, oxytocin, this neuromodulator, also can produce hormones like CRF. Now, this is supraoptic nucleus, and also you have anterior nucleus. So we cannot see from this sagittal section. Then we will be able to see them on the coronal section. Here's again the sagittal section. You see this is your suprachiasmatic nucleus right on the top. This is to control the day and the night, the rhythm. If you cut a coronal section again, you divide into medial and the lateral. And in the medial, here you will see this is your paraventricular nucleus. Paraventricular nucleus is around the 3rd ventricle here. And here is your anterior hypothalamic region. Anterior hypothalamic region. As we mentioned before, this is your anterior hypothalamic region. It's to control your body temperature. And here is your supraoptic nucleus. This nucleus will produce vasopressin for the water retention. This is your lateral hypothalamus. The third region, this is called the tubular region. When you cut the coronal section, you will see in the tubular region you have those structures. Again, you have a medial side and a lateral side. On the lateral side, this is called lateral hypothalamic nucleus. This is called hunger center. When you're getting activated, the people feel hungry. And here is your medial side. In the ventral, this is a ventral medial hypothalamic nucleus. This is called a satiety center. Now we see above, this is your dorsal medial nucleus of the hypothalamus. In addition, you have this arcuate nucleus in like an arch. It's called arcuate nucleus. And you also have your periventricular nucleus, which is different from arcuate nucleus. Now at the very back here, you will have also you have mammillary region. Here is your mammillary body. This is in the posterior region. This is the fourth region. So this is the anatomy of your hypothalamus. When you read the hypothalamus, you will need to consider two dimensions. One is from the side view, one is the coronal section view. When you consider the sagittal view from medial side, you will consider 1, 2, 3, 4 regions. Now from the coronal section, from the front, then you will see medial and lateral. In this way, it is easier for you to remember those structures. This is your structure of hypothalamus. I hope this is helpful for you to study the hypothalamus.